Hello and welcome to another episode of the ACC Insider podcast here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Dosher. That is Jeff Goodman. You're going to hear from Jakari White of Virginia here in just a minute, who had a great game over the weekend, went 7 for 7 from three against Dayton, scored 16 straight points in the second half in that one for the Hoos. He has a fantastic story, too. I don't know how many people know about his background and about his upbringing, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that here coming up in just a couple of minutes. But let's start with, I thought it was a massive day on Saturday for the ACC. Wake Forest won at West Virginia, which is going to be a win that I think has a little bit of legs to it. Virginia Tech handed George Mason their first loss of the season. Obviously, Virginia beat Dayton. But the two headlines were Louisville beating Indiana in Indianapolis, a game that you were at, and Duke winning at Michigan State. I'm going to start with Louisville here first because they had a little bit of an up and down week. They spent about 20 minutes looking like they forgot how to play basketball at Arkansas on, I believe that was Wednesday night. But they turned it around. They almost came back and won that game in the second half, and they beat Indiana on Saturday. What do you make of the Cards, Goodman?
Man, I mean, when they make shots, they're pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And they made shots in the game against Indiana. Didn't make them against Arkansas. Um, also, I think the big thing is Mikael Brown's dealing with a little bit of a minor injury that's kind of affecting him in terms of getting the basket, which at times you'd be like, really? Because he had a dunk against Arkansas that was absolutely insane. But I think it's just, him still trying to kind of figure all this out, right? Like when to go, when not to, when to try to take over, when not to. I thought the first half he struggled against Arkansas, and the second half he was the best player on the floor. Against Indiana, he was just okay. Kelsey loved how he defended his floor game, but didn't score a ton of points, and that's fine if those other guys are making shots like Conwell was doing against Indiana. I like their front line. I still want to see. I don't, I like it. I don't know if it's good enough to win a national title. I think they're certainly good enough to win four straight. I think six straight, Sananda Fru's going to need some more help up front, period.
Yeah, the issue is to me that when you're basically playing four guards, and Javon Hadley's a four, but like he's a guard, right? Like he's a little bit more of a physical guard. Putting that load on one guy in the front court when you look at some of these other teams around the country, like Michigan and Duke and Arizona and Iowa State, and some of the physicality they have at the four spot, that's going to be a little bit difficult. But the the opposite of that is going to end up being the fact that you can switch it around, and someone's got to guard them, right? Someone's got to guard them. So
Yep. Yeah, but
that is,
again, huge weekend capped by two teams that have put themselves in the equation. Again, the two heavyweights that have a chance. Obviously, Carolina getting the win at Kentucky this earlier in the week and then beating Georgetown on Sunday was good for the league. Virginia having a couple good wins. Miami's been better than expected, right, so far. Beating Ole Miss and Oxford, a huge win for Jay Lucas. And Clemson's done well. No shame in
I got a
losing.
bigger one.
Go ahead.
I got a bigger one. Um, Notre Dame.
Yep. Yep.
They
Big one
beat
too.
Missouri at
Yep.
home, who was previously undefeated, and they go on the road and they beat TCU, who has been, I don't know what to make of TCU. If we're doing a Big 12 podcast next year, then we can ask a lot of questions about what is happening there in Dallas with Jamie Dixon's team. But two huge wins for a Notre Dame team that, like, that's the biggest thing with that group, right?
Yeah.
Is I feel like you need the middle of the ACC pack to be able to win some of those games outside of ACC play so that you don't have as many landmines at the bottom of the league. And Notre Dame is doing their part.
You know
Harrelson's
who
been
else
playing really
is?
well.
Cal. Cal has done their
Hmm.
part. Look at their numbers. And even, okay, we expected Florida State to struggle in year one, right? Not a ton of money. Luke Locke's in his first year. And at least their numbers, they're inside the top 100 in KenPom. They're 117 in the net. That's not horrible. There's really one or two teams that are really kind of hurting the league right now, and that's BC and Georgia Tech. Other than that, and again, 8 teams in the top 50 of the net, 10 teams in the top 60 of the net. Like,
Mhm.
this is, again, as good a start as you, if you're Jim Phillips, you got to be really happy about the way ACC men's basketball has come out of the gates in the first month, 5 weeks.
Yep, it's certainly trending in the right direction, and a big part of that is that Virginia basketball looks like Virginia basketball again, and a big part of that is the gentleman we're about to talk to. Jakari White from Virginia. Terrific story. Make sure you listen to the rest of this pod. And now let me welcome on to the ACC Insider podcast, the guy that maybe had the best shooting performance that we've seen in a long time, Goodman, on Saturday. Jakari White from Virginia. He had 10 points in a win at Texas on Wednesday, but he is here with us on the ACC Insider podcast because he had 25 against Dayton. And it was more than just scoring 25 points, right? You had this kind of a three late in the first half. Second half, you come in, you rip off 6 in a row, right? You scored 16 straight points. And I think the JACARMY was pretty fired up about the way that you played, man. What's going on, Jakari? Talk to me a little bit about what it was like getting going like that against Dayton.
I'm just overall thankful, my teammates finding me in the right positions and having that trust in me to, knock down those shots. But it feels really good, seeing like, all the hard work I put in, especially in the summer, just to get to this point. So
Hey, the coolest thing, and I've done a lot of background on you. We met you a couple years ago at Summit League Media Day, but I've done a lot of background on you. Talked to Dave Richmond, some of the other guys at North Dakota State, their staff, and how far you've come and how grateful you are, how appreciative you are of the situation you are right now are in at Virginia. Forget about the NIL, but playing at a high level like this for a kid that had nothing coming out of high school, right? Had nothing, a JUCO offer in which you had to pay partial of that. Take me back though, if you can, Jakari, to even before that and kind of what you went through back. I think it was like middle school days. How difficult it was for you.
yeah, I mean, like starting in middle school, like I was, jumping around, places to stay. Like I didn't really have a place to stay, and then like my granddad had passed before. That's where I was staying at before, and then so uh, right around going into like high school, um, I was, living out of a car for like 2 years. Went into my like sophomore year till we had got a place in high school, and so every day I was just going to the YMCA because that's where I had to. That's where I like, could be at, other than the car most of the time. So I was there like pretty much all day until they closed, and then that's where I'd be at to like shower before school and stuff like that. So
And your dad was working at the time all day. You're in school, then you're going to, like you said, YMCA.
mhm.
Um, how difficult was it, and how hard was it to, again? I know that then you missed, I think, your junior season of high school because you got hurt. Like, it
Yeah.
had to be like a high school time that you look back on now and you think like most kids do not have to deal with that much adversity, Jakar.
hmm Yeah, it was. I mean, it was different, especially like uh, from a confidence standpoint, and having to figure out like living situation, like, and then wanting like to figure out whether I wanted to help my dad or not. And my dad, he kept me focused. Like he wanted me to stick to basketball. He'll worry about everything else. So I'm grateful for him and everything he's done for me. So
I want to know, hey, again, I'm not asking you how much you made from NIL, but I know you made some decent money here at Virginia. I want to know what you did for your dad. I know you did something for him because he did so much for you during that time.
yeah, he well, it's still ongoing, but I helped him pay a few cars off. Thinking about getting a house pretty soon.
Cool.
So
How rewarding is that to be able to do that stuff for him now? Like, that's got to be the coolest thing ever. And something that, again, a lot of people look at NIL and you guys and like, man, like, I don't know, do they deserve it? But when you hear your story, I don't know, I just have a completely different thought about NIL and how it can be used for so much good.
yeah, just grateful for him and and everything, like up to this point, like he couldn't really come to any one of my games when I was at North Dakota State because it was like so far, and then traveling was expensive to go up there, and so now he's able to come to a lot more games and kind of relax a little bit working. So it's just it just feels good to be able to do that for him and help him experience the same things I am.
What has been the best part about getting to Virginia here? Because I think I was texting with Matt Herron, your assistant coach, earlier, and he said Jakari is the kind of kid that we wish we could have had for 4 years here. What is it about that program that has been such a good fit for you as a human?
I just the people that's here, very good people. Like I feel very comfortable around them, be able to talk to them about pretty much anything. And I feel like the trust is a big thing as well. Like I feel like they trust me a lot. Um, to do the things that we do as a team and what I bring to the team. Um, and I just know like, they stress, sacrificing for the team. And it took me a little minute to, kind of understand what that meant. But, I think that trust goes both ways with them and how I view them. And so, just really grateful for the staff and the people around us.
Yeah, these last couple games have been pretty good for you guys, right? I mean, obviously you lose to Butler. A lot of people are like, I don't know, is that what type of loss is that? But you kind of refocused, come out and absolutely crush Texas and Austin, and then come back and play well against Dayton and get a win. And you go 10 for 10 from three in those two games, Shikari. What's this stretch been like? Not just for you and how big you're seeing the basket, but also for the team to be able to kind of put together two really good performances in a row here.
It feels really good as a team just to see what we're capable of. Especially like, even though we played pretty decent, we played nowhere near our best against Dayton. And to still pull out a win, it was just it's just kind of a look into the future, like what we can be and what we can become, especially late in the season. So I think just us coming in and staying focused and understanding what the goal is and working hard every day. It's really something to look forward to and something to keep us motivated. So
I think when people think of Virginia basketball, they don't necessarily think of what you guys are in this moment in this group, right? Everyone thinks about the Tony Bennett and the pack line, and they're going to dribble clock out for 28 seconds before they finally throw up a three at the end of the clock. And that's not what you guys are this season. What has it been like adjusting to that campus and to that program, to a culture where maybe you guys are trying to do something a little bit different than that fan base has come to know over the what was he there for 14 years that Tony Bennett was a head coach at Virginia?
yeah, I mean, for me, it's not really much different from where I came from, but it's been fun, just being able to play fast and play under control, and still try to get that uh like those defensive stops at the end of shot clocks. That's something we still try to focus on, but the adjustment's been fine. I think most guys, like some of the European guys, might be a little different. And then other guys coming from different systems and other coaches, but I think we've been meshing pretty well together, and it's coming along better.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you about the European guys because you turned 23 in June, correct?
this upcoming June, yeah, I turned 22 this past June.
So
Yeah.
you turned 22 this past June, and you are a fifth-year senior that got an extra year. JUCO as a freshman, so you got the Diego Pavia extra year, and you got a freshman on your team in Tista Ritter who turns 23 in January. So you, as a fifth-year senior, are younger than a freshman that is on this roster. What is it like playing with some of these vets, these pros, these guys that are coming into college basketball right now from Europe?
It's good. Just seeing how things are done in Europe and how they play, and I feel like it's helped me come along and understand the pro side of the game. And it's been fun playing with them. Like they're great guys. They come in and work hard every day. They got personalities too. They have their own personalities, but love those guys, and they really help us in our team. So
Yeah, and it helps they can hoop too, right?
yeah,
It helps they're pretty damn good.
yeah.
No, you got two of the best international guys that came over. We do kind of a ranking every week now, and both of them are top 10 in terms of what they brought to the table. And a lot of guys, I'm sure yourself included, had no idea what to expect, because you haven't seen them. We haven't seen all these kids, and then you see them over here, and you're like, all right, Ryan Odom and his staff did a really good job evaluating these two because they're both high-level players. So tell people, I know Rob referenced the JACARMY. Tell people about it, and is it growing now that, I mean, again, 10 for 10 from three, I feel like the JACARMY should be getting bigger and bigger and bigger at this point.
Oh yeah, it's definitely growing. They have shirts available, and they had more people buy them than expected. So I guess people are excited to get those when they come in. They should be on the way soon, but I got one myself, so excited for that to come in. But yeah, it's definitely growing. I didn't think it'd get to this point, where it's at now, but I'm grateful for those guys and the support they show. So it's
And they all have they all have the white headbands,
yeah.
and they wear shirts that have you on them. Help me out again. They wear shirts that have like your
Yeah, they got me in like a military outfit.
How did that start?
Um, it's really just like one of the guys that DM'd me before the season started, and we're just like, "Yo, we were thinking about like having shirts with your face and wearing a headband." And originally they were gonna have ball caps too, but I think they scrapped that one. But yeah, it was like, "Yo, is it cool if we can do this?" And I was like, "Hey, I mean, yeah, like it sounds awesome." So I was on board from the start.
what's it like, going from Orlando to Fargo to Charlottesville? I mean, I'm sure you're happy you don't have to wear the heavy coat right now, but kind of take me through that. Those are three very, very different places.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess mostly like going to Fargo, it was like I didn't want to be close to home going to school. I wanted to be in this place where I can grow, as a person, overall, and just, understand, what I wanted and continue my career like in the way that I wanted to. And it was rough. Like the winters there, it's rough. As someone know, but it was definitely an adjustment. I feel like, going there really tests you, like if you really wanted, like if you really want to play or not, because those days when it's like snowing, and I didn't have like a car up there, so those days when it's snowing, you gotta like get extra shots. You gotta like walk to the gym, and yeah, it was freezing, but
You don't miss that, right? You don't
yeah,
miss those walks, do you?
no, 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 it doesn't. But I think it really uh tested
Sure.
my drive and my motivation to actually, you know, really want this, and to come to Charlottesville and be welcomed by all the fans and all the people here, and uh I'm nothing but grateful. Just glad to be back on the East Coast where it's a little bit warmer, close to the family too, so they can catch a few games. So really grateful for that.
So we talked about your story, right? And kind of the way that you grinded your way up levels. And I think that's the best way to say it, man. You go high school to JUCO to a really good mid-major like North Dakota State, but it's still a mid-major. And now you're here with the in the ACC, you're playing your home games in JPJ Arena, which for people that don't know gets loud and gets packed, and it's a really good venue. You're going to be taking a road trip to Cameron this year. You're going to get to play in the Yum Center. Like this, if I would have told you that this is what you were doing as a 22-year-old, when you were 14, 15, 16, going through all of that, what would you have said?
I mean, I probably would have I probably would have thought you were lying to me, especially with what the situation was when I was younger, and then like uh just the road to get here now, and everything that's happened, especially with like the additional year from the JUCO year getting that back. So I probably wouldn't have believed you, but yeah, it's
Is
crazy
your
to think about.
confidence like, take me back a little bit to that. And you mentioned it earlier, right? Your confidence, had to be shaken when you're a high school kid, you're hurt, you're living out of your car. And now, you know, it's probably really high, but you don't come across as a guy with a lot of swagger. No offense. You're chill. You're super chill. And again, that's no knock. On the court, obviously it's different when you're making those threes, but you're not a big time trash talk or anything like that. But what's it like inside you in terms of your confidence now compared to what it was, and just as a human being, as a person?
Yeah, I don't, I come from very like humble beginnings. So like I feel like I've, kept that always. And I don't know, I feel like my mindset on the court is really like never changed. Like whenever I step on the court, I feel like I'm better than the person in front of me or whoever I'm playing. And it's just something I uh use as like my drive to like, go out there and perform and do the best I can. And I don't know. I dove a lot into faith. It was something I wasn't really like deep into until like so my grandma had passed away right before I was gonna go to North Dakota State, and she's always wanted me to like like go to church and like read Bible, things like that, and I didn't really like get into it, but until she passed away, and then had to move far away from home. Then that's something I dove into, and I had like my mentor at NDSU. She helped me a lot, and I just kept good people around me, and I feel like that helped a lot.
Last thing I got for you, Jakari, is you guys are sitting here at 8-1 on the season, right? You got some good wins, but if you look at the top of the ACC, it looks like the top of that conference is as good as the top of any conference in the sport. We see what Duke's doing right now. Louisville is sitting there at 8-1, ranked in the top 10. North Carolina is rolling right now. Even programs, some of the other programs that maybe aren't haven't been as good, like the Syracuses of the world and even the Florida States. Like there's been Wake Forest got a big win this weekend. What do you guys have to do as a team to be able to get yourselves up to that upper echelon, to be able to keep this thing rolling once you get into the heart of ACC play in a league that is significantly improved compared to what it was the last couple of seasons?
I think nothing more than just focus on us and get better every day. Like we can't sit and worry about other teams and what they have going on. All we can do is focus on us and prepare the best we can, and execute the best we can every day. And I think that's something that we just got to keep in mind and stay focused with, and not worry about what the other teams are doing.
Hey, Rob, a couple more little known things about Jakari from a couple sources up at North Dakota State. If you eat a meal with Jakari, it's going to be a long, long meal. It's going to be a very, very long meal because Jakari is not known as the fastest eater. In fact, like Dave Richmond would come down late, for the pregame meals, and Jakari would be like the last one left, still finishing off. Am I wrong?
No, I still do it now. Like it's still, yeah, that's true.
Just pace yourself. Pace
I mean,
yourself.
I just struggle. I just struggle eating fast. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I think it's just something like that's just in me because I don't know. I didn't have much money, so like I didn't really like have food all the time. So like I just had to like you know like I was cool off just chilling, just not eating much, whatever. So like I don't know. It's just something
You
I
don't
like. I like
rush.
to save. Yeah, I'm not.
You know
Yeah.
what'll change that, Jakari? If you get a dog, it'll change it. It changed it for me because the dog is begging next to you the whole meal, so you eat so fast. So now I don't even have a dog right now, and
Yeah.
I'm like the fastest eater ever. So
But yeah.
don't change, man. Don't change. The other thing, Rob, not the greatest wake surfer in the world.
I've gotten better. I've gotten better for sure. No, I've gotten
You'll
better.
have you'll have more time in Charlottesville. You'll have a
Yeah.
little more time after the season. It'll be nice and warm when the season ends. You can get out there right away rather than in Fargo. You got to wait till
Yeah, you
probably
gotta wait till
June, right?
like mid-June. It's probably still snowing like May, middle of May.
Exactly.
But
Now,
so
Richmond says hello and to give you a hug. The greatest compliment I think you can get as a player is when the former staff still talks as highly as they do about you, Jakari. And they do, man. They love you. They miss you. And I know how this current staff feels about you. So, man, you're doing something right. Your story is inspirational. I mean that 100%, like really inspirational. Keep doing what you're doing, man, and don't miss a three. I mean, basically, it comes down to that. You can't miss a three for the rest of the season.
oh man, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna try. We'll see.
Appreciate you, Jakari. Thank you for being here on the ACC Insider podcast, and keep it up, man. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Sure, thank you.